Hi everyone, let's have everyone come in and then I'll start talking about my team and my plan. Basically guys, I've been changing my team around, playing with it, seeing what I'm going to do depending on each lineup that Italy put out and seeing the Frank de Boer's press conference, and based on that I'm trying to decide if I'm going to wildcard this week or if I'm going to save it for the quarterfinal. So first of all, instead of dropping a video with my final team, in my stream I'm going to be sharing with you guys what my plan is based on Italy's lineup. So let's wait for a couple more people to come in and I'll start talking. Hi everyone, how's your day going? Let me know how your day's going. what decisions he's trying to make as we wait for everyone to come in. Slapped my Limitless on. Yeah, I'm jealous of you, man. Not having the Limitless this week is so challenging. Should I keep Immobile even though people say he might not start? Yeah, keep him until you find out Italy's lineup. That's my recommendation. Hi Bradley. Ariana picture today? Yes, it's ready. I just need to blur out my cousin's face. So let's say when the Italy game kicks off, we'll take a 2-minute break and I'll blur my cousin's face out and then I'll show you the picture. Are you doing wildcard, bro? I will wildcard if Insigne, Berardi and Spinazzola don't start, then I'll wildcard. Otherwise, I don't think I'll wildcard. Denayer not starting, Wijndal not starting. Yes, I know, don't tell me about that, I know. Is Ronaldo a good option but with a bad bench? He's a good option. I mean, he's a good option, but he's not the best option for his price if you're wildcarding. Why do I get minus points when I transfer players? Because you only have 3 free transfers. Keep Wijndal. I wouldn't keep Wijndal because Frank de Boer said that he's only going to rotate 2 people. So I think that will be Darun, the CDM, and what's his name, the striker. What's their striker called? So that means that Marlin will come in and that Gravenberch will come in. So I don't think Wijndal is going to start, and Denayer is definitely not starting. So if you have him, get rid of him. Weghorst, yes. So Weghorst is probably going to be rotated, and probably, I think, what's his name? Darun will be rotated, and that's the only 2. Limitless, good team. I posted one. I sent you my team on Instagram. I haven't had time to reply to everyone because I've been trying to do the research and plan my team out. Berardi and Insigne won't start. If they don't start, I have a wild card ready to go. Is this your team? This is my team before transfers. So let's see, 1 second. I want to see how my stream is going. So at the moment, I have a stream up on YouTube. So if you want to find my YouTube channel, that's linked to my TikTok. And on that stream, I'm going to be showing my different options for my team. So if you want to follow what I'm going to say, then you're going to have to pull up my YouTube stream. And then on that, I'm sharing my current screen on my laptop so that you can see each team that I've planned. So if you want to see my team, go to my YouTube stream right now. I'll wait for everyone to go there. And then I'll start walking you guys through all the different teams I've made for every scenario. So just to explain quickly, I have one team made for the scenario in which only Insigne is benched from Italy. I have another team made for the scenario in which Insigne and Berardi are benched, which is actually just wildcarding. Then I have another team made for the scenario in which Insigne and Berardi start, which is just 2 transfers to my 2 defenders. And I have another team for the scenario that only Spinazzola is benched. Where do you get your goal involvement info? A site called fbref.com. Will Marlon start over Depay? No, I think Marlon is going to start over Weghorst, not over Depay. Will Dumfries play? I'm almost certain he's going to play. It's not that deep, man. I know. We're just having fun here. We're trying to grind out the highest finish we can. What's your YouTube? It's FPL_Liam. It's the exact same as my TikTok, and it's linked to my TikTok. Can I see your team? Yeah, head over to my YouTube, and I'm sharing my screen where you can see all the different teams I'm planning. What's your YouTube? FPL_Liam. Liam, with wildcard, can I just change my team every day? No, you can only change it once, and then you can make subs. Depay won't play? Yes, he will. I think he will. Boyata or Denayer, neither one is starting. Roberto Martinez in his press conference said that Vermaelen will be starting, not Denayer and not Boyata. Can you move your head? Yes. Why Wijndal over Dumfries? This was my team for week 1 when I didn't have money for Dumfries. Are you South African? No, I'm not South African. Mbona will do bits, trust. I'm not sure. He's not, doesn't have a high likelihood, I'll show you. High likelihood of returning based on the bookies. He has a 35% chance of scoring according to the bookies. And let me show you his XG data quickly. Is this a wild card? No, this isn't my wild card. Are you reviewing teams? Yes, I will, but first I'll show you guys my team. So if everyone heads over to my YouTube channel, where I'm going to be sharing my screen, I'm going to show you all the teams I have planned out, depending on what Italy's lineup looks like. So my YouTube is FPL_Liam. It's the exact same as my TikTok. And it's linked on my TikTok profile. If you just press the link, you'll go to my YouTube. So if you all keep heading over to my YouTube, I'll start talking once I see that a lot of people are in the YouTube stream. Deny or Pau Torres. I would keep Pau Torres because he's going to start, and Spain are favourites to keep a clean sheet. And I would get rid of Denia because he's not going to start. We know that, confirmed by the... my left centre back is Mele. Is this your final team or are you wildcarding? So again, if you go to my YouTube, I'll walk you guys through all of my teams for every scenario. I haven't finalized whether I'm wildcarding or making transfers. So head over to my YouTube and I'll explain exactly what my plan is. Let's say I'll give 1 more minute to head over to my YouTube, and then I'll start explaining what my plan is for anyone who's trying to see what I'm doing to make a decision based on that. Should I use Limitless? I would use Limitless now if you didn't use it last week. I think now is the best time to target teams who are playing weak teams, because like the Netherlands aren't going to play a team as weak as North Macedonia, or Belgium aren't going to play a team as weak as Finland again. So I would go for Limitless for sure. Target Lukaku, De Bruyne, Eden Hazard, Depay. Target all the big hitters with your Limitless. Yaremchuk and Yarmo. I would go for one of the two because they both have a decently tough game and the odds of scoring aren't that high. What is your YouTube? FPL_Liam. And it's linked on my TikTok. So head over there and I'll start talking. So let's say 10 more seconds. Head over to my YouTube, FPL_Liam, and I'll start explaining my team for every scenario. Is Thorgan Hazard a good pick? I ratioed Big Mac Jack. Yeah, I saw that, mate. Well done. I might go live with Jack later for the Italy game. Let's see. But he's a nice guy. Will Immobile get points? If he starts, I think he has a decent chance. There's a 43% chance of scoring if he starts. Will Spinazzola start? I'm not sure. If he doesn't, then I'll wildcard. Or if he starts and if he doesn't start but Insigne and Berardi do, then I won't wildcard. I'll show you exactly what I'll do. Are those Italians playing? Who knows? But I'll know before the deadline. When our lineup's out, around an hour and a half before the deadline. So in roughly half an hour, we'll know exactly what my plan is. But meanwhile, let me walk you through my transfer plans, okay? So for the first scenario, which is that Insigne is benched, but Berardi and Spinazzola start, here's my plan. I'll bring in either Wijnaldum or Forsberg for Insigne, and I will bring in Gosens and Vermaelen for Denayer and Wijndal. That's my first plan in case Insigne is benched. My second plan, in case both Insigne and Berardi are benched, is wildcarding. Now for my wildcard, I have two separate plans, two separate teams that are quite similar. The first team is Depay, Lukaku, De Bruyne, Chiesa, Malinovsky, Damsgaard, Spinazzola, Vermaelen, Gosens, Mings, Unai Simon, Safonov, Marlon, Bastoni, and Kai Havertz. If you want to see this team, instead of having me read it out, again, go to my YouTube and you can see exactly what I'm reading out. Next, I have Moreno. In the other scenario, I have in the other wildcard draft, which I haven't decided which one I'm going to take yet, Moreno, Lukaku, De Bruyne, Chiesa, Malinovsky, Perisic, Spinazzola, Meunier, Gosens, Mings, Unai Simon, Safonov, Marlon, Bastoni, and Havertz. Is Meunier playing? I think he will. I don't see who he's going to be rotated for. Okay, third scenario, which is Insigne and Berardi start, so all the Italians in my team start. I will only make 2 transfers to my 2 defenders who I know aren't starting, which is Wijndal and Denayer. I'll transfer them out to Danielson and Mings. The fourth scenario, which is that Spinazzola is benched, but Insigne and Berardi play and start, is I'll bring in Gosens and Mings and Vermaelen for Spinazzola, Wijndal, and Denayer. So those are all my plans. And if you have questions about anyone, I can help you guys out. I can explain all my XG reasoning for everything. But I think it's probably more useful for you guys if I just explain to you, if I answer your questions. Will Weghorst start, or Weghorst, I'm not sure how to pronounce his team. I don't think he will. No, because Frank de Boer confirmed that 2 players are going to be rotated. And I think him and Darun are the favourites to be rotated, because I think Marlon is very likely to play up front, because apparently many Dutch fans are asking for Marlon to play, and whenever he's been subbed on for Weghorst, he's been very, very good. Will Immobile be benched? I don't know, but we'll know before the deadline, because remember, we find out the Italy lineups in the next 15 minutes, but the Italy game, which is the deadline, only happens in an hour and a half, or hour 45 minutes. So don't worry. Why not Swedish centre-backs? You don't need to spam that. If you see in my third scenario, which is that all my Italians start, I will be actually bringing in Danielson and Mings. So I do have one plan in which I'm bringing in a Swedish centre-back. The reason I'm not bringing one in every scenario is because, again, if you're on my YouTube, you can see all of my clean sheet odds, but Sweden only have a 33% chance of keeping a clean sheet, which is not very high when you think about the fact that like Belgium have a 61% chance, Spain have a 62% chance, so there are better defenses than Sweden's for this week. Who's the CM behind your head? Alaba and Carrasco. And oh yeah, let me show you my full team quickly. How do you know that? It's according to the bookies odds. So the bookies use underlying data to give you odds, and I have a formula that anyone can use basically. I can teach it to you guys at the end of the stream if you'd like. A formula to calculate percentages from the odds. So for example, if a team has 1-to-1 odds of keeping a clean sheet, that means that they have a 50% chance of keeping a clean sheet. Why have you got Herdetsky in net? Literally because he's the cheapest. He was the cheapest keeper when I first built my team, not because of any other good reason. Change your goalkeeper? I will, but Herdetsky plays before Bachmann. Actually, no, they play on the same day, yeah. So obviously I'll change them around. Don't worry, I will change them. He won't be starting. Herdetsky. You don't know nothing? I'm in the top 10k, mate, and I finished very high in FPL too, so surely whatever I'm doing must be working. Is Stekelenburg a good keeper choice? Yeah, he is. I'm not sure I'd double up on the Netherlands defense, but as a single goalkeeper for 4.5 mil, he's definitely the best option. Are you not worried about rotation? I'm very worried about rotation, but I don't think wildcarding will solve that worry. So basically, even if you wildcard, your players could be rotated. Obviously, in the wildcard team I've built, players shouldn't be rotated based on the fixtures I've decided to target and the players I'm targeting, but you still never know. Have you used your wildcard? I haven't used my wildcard yet. My reasoning for not wildcarding yet is that basically between the round of 16 and the quarterfinal, you only get 3 transfers, but half the teams get knocked out. So you could get into a scenario where half your team or more than half of your team get knocked out of the Euros, and you have to transfer them all. And in that scenario, I'd much rather have my wildcard than in the scenario I'm in right now, where I have, let's say, Wijndal I know is not starting, Denayer I know is not starting, and then Ferran Torres is a rotation risk. And that's in the scenario that I know that I find out that all my Italians are starting. If my Italians aren't starting, then I'll wildcard for sure. You copied Andy's Matchday 1 team. I think you're talking about Andy from Let's Talk FPL. So if you go back in time and check when I released my team and when he released his team, I released mine a day before he released his. So no, I didn't copy his. We just both understand how fantasy works and how to target fixtures, how to look at underlying data, how to use bookies odds to pick your team. So obviously some people are going to have similar teams, but if you go back, I released mine a day before his. Immobile or Insigne captain? Immobile. Why Herdetsky? Herdetsky is not going to start. I'm going to start Bachmann instead of him. Should I transfer Mbappe for Marlin? You mean are you asking if you should go Mbappe to Marlin? I wouldn't, unless you're doing it to free up money for a different player. Morata or Moreno? Morata, because he's more nailed than Moreno. But if you're going to use that money to buy someone else, then I would go for Moreno and risk it. Surely Depay won't start. So about an hour ago, anyone again on my YouTube, let me pull it up on Twitter for you. Why can't I? There we go. 1 second. So De Boer in a press conference about an hour ago said, and I quote, "Tomorrow I will only rotate 2 players and the 5-through-2 formation will remain." So why would, if he's only rotating 2 players, why would he rotate Depay? So trust me, Depay is going to start. You don't have to worry about him. Why Carrasco? I had Carrasco in because I knew he was going to start in Matchday 1 over Eden Hazard. And I'm not going to transfer him out because I think he'll play left wing back this week. Best Limitless attack this week. So if you go to my TikTok, I actually posted a Limitless team. I'll do that as well because I don't even remember what I put in my team because the amount of teams I built today. 1 second. Let me show you quickly. Sorry. There we go. Belotti, will he start? I think Belotti is likely to start, but I'm not sure. So you'll know that before the deadline though, so you don't need to worry about that. Do you recommend Limitless if I already used my wildcard? Yes, I still do. If you haven't used your Limitless yet, ignore what I said about the quarterfinal and your team missing so many players. That won't even help you in the quarterfinal, because remember, your team will go back to its old form in the semi-final. So if you have your Limitless, use it this week. Wildcard is trickier to decide. Is Mobile going to play? I don't know, but we'll find out in 10 minutes, so you don't need to stress out about that. So my wildcard attack, who I've gone for, is Morata. My Limitless attack, Morata, Depay, and Kane. They're all the bookies' favourites to score, and Depay and Kane both have assist potential as well. And they're also both the best captains in the days that they play. In midfield, I went for Insigne, but that would be any Italian winger who's starting. We don't know who's starting yet. Hazard, De Bruyne, Gnabry, and Havertz. So I think the attack in that Limitless team is filthy. Yarmolenko isn't as good as he was last week, because last week he had a 40% chance of scoring. This week, let me show you quickly. Go up. Oh, 1 second. I'll put it up on this website called Odds Checker, where you can find out the odds. I'll tell you why I'm not going for Yarmolenko, even in my Limitless team. First of all, for your regular team, he's too expensive in my opinion. Just go live on YouTube. I think I am live on YouTube. So if you go to my YouTube, I'm live there and I'm sharing my screen. Yeah, so you can go to my YouTube and you'll see exactly what I'm looking at to see how I find out the odds as well. Why Berardi over Locatelli? Berardi's if you watch Italy play, Locatelli, even though he did really well last week, he plays as an 8, or even he doesn't play as a winger. Berardi plays as an inside forward for Italy, so he's much more likely to get an attacking return for them. Can you show your main team? I don't know my main team yet. What's your YouTube? FPL_Liam. Wildcard squad, please. It's posted on my TikTok, but I'll also show you my wildcard team if I choose to wildcard. So stay in the stream, and if my Italian players aren't starting, I will be wildcarding, and you can see my final wildcard team. Wijndal or Dumfries? Dumfries for sure. Wijndal isn't even going to be playing. Kane or Lukaku? Lukaku for sure. Rate teams? Okay, if you guys start DMing me your teams on Instagram and go to my YouTube and subscribe, and then tell me on YouTube that you've subscribed and send me your @ then I'll do that. I'll start looking at those teams and rating them. But go to my YouTube, subscribe, tell me in the chat that you've subscribed, and I'll tell you, and I'll look at your team and help you out. Will you show your final team on TikTok? No, I'll only show my final team on live, because I need to wait for the Italy lineups to decide my final team. You have 0 from Sweden. Again, if I think it was, if all my Italians are starting, then I actually will go for, wasn't it Danielson, the Swedish centre back instead of Wijndal, and Mings instead of Denayer. So Swedish players just don't fit into my team in my other template, but in my fourth scenario, then I'll get it. YouTube, my YouTube is FPL_Liam. It's also linked on my TikTok. Thanks, man. I just subbed Locatelli for Berardi. Yeah, Locatelli, I wouldn't go Locatelli for Berardi unless Locatelli is starting and Berardi is not starting. Pickford or Dutch goalkeeper? Let's see. So again, I'm looking at my clean sheet odds, and I'll help you out. So England have a 53% chance of keeping a clean sheet, and so do Netherlands. So I would go for the Netherlands goalkeeper, Stekelenburg, literally because he's cheaper. Because if they have the same odds of keeping a clean sheet, actually, but if you don't need the money, then I'd go for Pickford, because the game for England is much more important than it is for the Netherlands, because they're all but through. Show bench, here you go. Let me quickly show you guys the Yarmolenko goal scoring odds. I'll show you how I do it as well. So if you go to my YouTube, you can see exactly the calculations I'm making. Anytime goal scorer. Marlon or Weghorst? Marlon. I think Marlon is going to start over him. Why Ronaldo on bench? Because Ronaldo plays last, so I'll stop him on. Are you making a normal team or wildcard? If my Italians are all starting, then I'll make a normal team. If they're not starting, then I'll wildcard. Also if only one of them is benched and the rest is starting, then I won't wildcard. I'll only make transfers and take a 4-point hit. Do you support LGBTQ? Yes, I do. Who do you suggest instead of Yarmolenko? For what? For a Limitless team, wildcard team? Let me know. I'll see what you said. Italians are not starting. Let's see. I don't know. Have you seen the lineups yet? Mings or Mele? I'd go Mings. Can you make subs every day? Yes, you can. Italian squad is out. Really? Let me check. Check that. Insigne, oh, lineups out. Everyone's saying lineups are out. Can you guys tell me who's starting from Italy? If people can spam the Italy lineup. You have 0 from Denmark? No, actually, I have Mele. Mele's from Denmark. And in my wildcard team, I have... let me find his name quickly. I have Damsgaard. I think he's Eriksen's replacement, and he's playing quite attacking. He has great attacking numbers. He has around 0.7 XGI per 90. So he's quite good. I don't see the lineups out. Yeah, I don't see them. Bonucci captain. Sure, if he's your only Italian playing today, then I'd go for him as captain for sure. Check live scores for lineups. I don't have that. I don't have the app, so I can't check that right now. Can you change your captain midway through? You can change your captain in between days. Yeah, they're not out. That's what I thought. Is Depay going to play? Yes, he's going to play. Is Dumfries good instead of Wijndal? Very good. He's one of the best defenders in the game. What's your YouTube? My YouTube is FPL_Liam. If you look at my wait, let me show you guys something. Dumfries has 0.7 expected goal involvements per 90. That's like what Salah has for Liverpool in the Premier League. That's ridiculously good. Is wildcard risky? Yes, but again, if your team now has 6 or 7 players who you know are probably not going to start, then it's not even risky. Is Weghorst a good shout? I don't think so, because I think he's going to be rotated. So no, I wouldn't go for him. Will Depay play? Yes, I think he'll play. Because the Netherlands are only rotating 2 players. Keep Yarmolenko in Limitless team? Sure, you can, but let me take a look quickly. In my Limitless team, I have I guess you could go for Yarmolenko instead of the Italian winger in my Limitless team. I would keep him, and then the rest of the midfield kind of selects itself. You go Eden Hazard, Kevin De Bruyne, Gnabry, and Havertz. That's what I would do. No Insigne or Berardi. Let me check quickly. Where are you guys seeing the lineups? Who's on the bench? Here you go. Bro, I'm subbed. My @ is Samir. Let me take a look at the YouTube chat, and then I'll tell you. Subbed, Leighton Watson. Okay, I'll take a look at yours. What's your YouTube? FPL_Liam. It's also linked on my TikTok. So if you go to my TikTok and click the link on my TikTok, then you'll go to my YouTube. Leighton Watson. So again, if you want to see his team, go to my YouTube channel and you'll see his full team. So he's got Kane, Embolo, Perisic, Hazard, Gnabry, Havertz, Vermaelen, Alba, Rodriguez, Mele, Schmeichel, Unai Simon, Morata, Gosens, De Bruyne. That's a brilliant team, yeah. I wouldn't change anything about that. It looks very good. Maybe you could go for Depay instead of Kane. That's one thing I would say. And potentially upgrade Perisic to Kevin De Bruyne. That would be a good shout. Oh, you have De Bruyne. No, other than that, no, I think your team looks good. Perhaps Marlon over Embolo would be a good shout, but Embolo is a good shout this week as well. Let's go back to my screen. Wijnaldum or Gnabry? Gnabry for sure. Will De Bruyne start? Yes, he will. Roberto Martinez confirmed that both De Bruyne and Eden Hazard are starting. So on a Limitless team, go for both. On a wildcard, I'd go for one of the two. Probably De Bruyne. Will Dumfries start? I think so, because there's no player in their team that can start in that right moving back position instead of him. Is Yaremchuk a good pick? Yes, but here, I'll show you. So Yaremchuk has roughly a 33% chance of starting. The way I calculate that, again, if you can see this on my YouTube, so he has, let's say, 11-5 odds. So you go 5 divided by 11 plus 5, giving you a 31.25 chance of Yaremchuk scoring. For Yarmolenko, it's something it's roughly, again, 5 out of 16, so 31.25. Some people have him closer to 2 out of 9, which is 0.22. So he's not that great of an option. On a Limitless, I think I'd rather go for Hazard. This is kind of sad. I mean, maybe it's a bit sad, but we're all having fun. So I don't think it's that sad. It's a bit more sad that you're leaving hate on stream. So I hope whatever is negative in your life that's making you have to share that negativity with the world improves, and you find something that makes you happy rather than negative online. I used Wildcard. Is that good? Again, if your team was a mess, then I would definitely Wildcard. Yeah, it's not a bad idea. Gnabry or Havertz? Havertz, in my opinion. So Havertz and Gnabry both have very similar odds of scoring. Both have roughly a 0.50 or a 50% chance of scoring. Oh, 1 second. Both have roughly a 50% chance of scoring, but then you have, I'll show you quickly up here. So Kai Havertz has 0.95 expected goal involvements per 90, and Gnabry has 0.17 expected goal involvements per 90. So that essentially makes Havertz 5 times as good as him. Is Phillips a good choice? Nah, he's not. He plays an 8, a deep lying 8 even, and he's a defensive midfielder, so I don't think he's a good pick. Are you sure Lukaku will start? I'm not sure, but I think so, especially Lukaku. He's a striker who's hungry for goals. He'll want to be the top scorer in the tournament. I think he's going to start. Will De Ligt start? I think so, yeah. Belgian players' chances of starting. De Bruyne and Hazard are both confirmed starting, so they have a 100% chance of starting. Do you review teams? I do, but I think it's easier for me to answer quick questions. But if you go to my YouTube and tell me that you subscribe to me on YouTube, then I'll review your team. Or I'll try to. Again, I don't have enough time to review everyone's. But once I hit 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, it will be much easier for me to take a look at your teams. Italian players benched. Have they really been? Let me check. I don't see where you guys are all seeing your Italy lineups. I'll try finding them though, because they're not on the official UEFA website yet. Liam, will Lukaku start? I think so. Look at my teams. Okay, let me take a look at another team. So let's go to, I'm going to go to the YouTube channel. Check out someone's saying, I've subbed Sam North. Sam North. Okay, let's find you. Sam, I can't find your message. I'll try finding it again. Sorry, mate. Move out of the way here. I'll move out of the way while I'm looking for the team, so you can look. How do you not have Gosens? Again, Gosens is, I'm planning on bringing him in. Sam North, I can't find your team. I'll try finding it later, but no, I can't find your team. Sorry, mate. Lineups out. Are they out in the app? Let's check again. Oh yeah, lineups are out. Okay, let's see them. So Donnarumma starting in goal. Oh wow, they've fully rotated their team, haven't they? Okay, so that means, boys, we're all wildcarding. We have to wildcard. So none of my Italy players are starting, meaning I have to wildcard. So I'm going to show you guys my wildcard team. I'll pull it up quickly, and I will show you. Yeah, so none of the Italians are starting, meaning we're going to have to wildcard. Anyone who has a team similar to mine, you have no choice but to wildcard. Because look, I have De Gea, definitely not starting. Wijndal, almost definitely not starting. Berardi, definitely not starting. Insigne, definitely not starting. Spinazzola, definitely not starting. Carrasco, rotation risk. Ferran Torres, rotation risk. Where are the lineups? They're in the app, the official UEFA website. You can go there, click on fixtures, and you'll find the lineups. I can read them out to you. Donnarumma in goal. And then you've got Verratti, Jorginho, Belotti, Pessina, Emerson, Chiesa, Bonucci, Bernardeschi, Bastoni, and Toloi. I'm pretty sure both Toloi and Bastoni are 4.5 million euro centre backs. Let me check quickly. So that means transfer out. Yeah, Toloi and Bastoni are both 4.5 million, which is ridiculous. So now you can get 2 Italian centre backs at 4.5 mil. Bro, even if your team is a mess, why use wildcard? Because if I don't use wildcard, my team is going to be a mess this week. I'm going to go down a lot in rank. How's it going, Jack? You want to go live later for the Italy game? Are you going to use wildcard? I think I will, yes. Almost definitely. Actually, yes, definitely I'm going to use my wildcard. I'm going to send my team to myself quickly. Oh, show wildcard team, please. Yeah. So if you give me, can we see wildcard team? Can we see wildcard team? Yes. Let me pause my stream on YouTube quickly.